So we are going to proceed from where we had stopped last time. Okay, and last time we stopped at, let me see, where did we stop? We stopped at data presentation. So now we're going to start data analysis. Okay, let us start data analysis. Now, under data analysis, we have, let me first remove the highlights. I'm going to first remove this highlight because it's going to disturb us. Okay, so let us start with data analysis. Now, under data analysis, we have two types of data analysis. We have what we call quantitative data analysis. Then we also have what we call qualitative data analysis. Okay, there is quantitative data analysis and qualitative data analysis. Okay, so sorry, let us continue. Sorry about that. Let us continue. So quantitative data analysis, that is analysis of data that is coming from where? From questionnaires. Okay, so when someone says quantitative, I remember telling you that quantitative is a questionnaire. Okay, so quantitative data analysis, that is analysis of data from where? From the questionnaire. Whereas qualitative data analysis, that is analysis of data coming from where? From interview guide. Okay, so the difference between quantitative data analysis and quantitative data analysis is quantitative data analysis is that is to do with analyzing data that comes from the questionnaire. Okay, remember you're going to give out questionnaires and you're also going to interview some people. Okay, so when you gather data from questionnaires and then after gathering that data and you analyze it, that kind of analysis is called quantitative data analysis. Whereas analyzing data that is coming from interview guide is called qualitative data analysis. So let us first read through the quantitative data analysis that we have here. We are saying that the quantitative data will involve information coming from questionnaires only. Okay, that is what it says. It says that quantitative data will involve information coming from questionnaires, because that's what I told you. Quantitative data, that is the data that comes from the questionnaires. The data data from the field will be too raw for proper interpretation. It will therefore be vital to put it in order, structure it so as to derive meaning and information from it. Now, when you are gathering data from the information from the field, of course, this information sometimes can be very raw. Okay, so that's why we are saying that you are going to structure it. Okay, put it in a format of you're going to structure it, and then you're going to put it in order, structure it so that you can derive meaning and information from it. Okay, and then we're also saying that the raw data obtained from the questionnaires will be cleaned, sorted, and coded. Many people get confused here when I say cleaned, sorted, and coded. Now, these terms are statistical. Okay, let me try to do it like this. Cleaning, what is the purpose? What is the meaning of cleaning? When I say the data obtained from the questionnaire will be cleaned, I don't mean cleaning with water. I mean that you are going to be omitting the data that has mistakes. Okay, you are going to be getting the data. Okay, for instance, you are collecting the questionnaires from the people. Okay, but when you realize that a certain questionnaire has some mistakes, you are going to omit it. You are going to put it aside. It means that you are not going to consider it. Okay, so that is cleaning. Then sorting means that you are going to be organizing these questionnaires following a certain order. Okay, for instance, maybe when you are collecting the questionnaires from the people, you can collect questionnaires, okay, and then organize them. Maybe you get these questionnaires from men, put them aside. You then get questionnaires from the women and put them aside. Okay, you don't mix them up. So that is sorting, that is organizing. Okay, or you can as well say, I'm going to get questionnaires from village A, put them this side, questionnaires from village B, I put them here, questionnaires from village C, I put them here. Okay, so that is sorting. Okay, and then coding. After sorting, you're supposed to code them. What is coding? Coding means that you are supposed to enter them into spaces. Okay, I'm going to show you how you're supposed to enter these questionnaires into spaces. The process of entering the questionnaires into spaces is what we call coding. Okay, so when you see coding here, you should not get confused. Maybe you should not think that this is the coding of IT. You understand? So the coding that I mean here is entering the questionnaires that you have obtained from the field into a spaces program. That is what we call coding. Okay, so after cleaning, of course, I've already explained what cleaning is. Okay, just when you're collecting the questionnaires from the people. Okay, and then you realize that some questionnaires have mistakes. Okay, you have to omit them, you have to throw them away. Okay, that is cleaning. That means that you're going to keep only the questionnaires that have good information, that don't have mistakes. and that is what you call cleaning. And then sorting means that you are going to organize them according to a certain order that you want. Maybe you can say questionnaires for people who have bachelor's degree are going to start on top, followed by the ones that have master's degree, followed by the ones at diploma level. Okay, something like that. That is what we call coding. Well, that's sorting rather. Well, that's coding means that you're supposed to get these questionnaires and then enter them into spaces. Okay, the process of entering the questionnaires that you have just obtained from people and then entering them into spaces is what we call coding. Okay, and then after that, we are also seeing that the coded data will be entered into the computer, checked and statistically analyzed using statistical package for social science spaces software to generate descriptive and differential statistics. What does that mean? It means that after entering this data, after entering the data into a spaces, then you are supposed to, of course, a spaces stands for statistical package for social scientists. That is what it stands for. Okay, that is spaces in full. I know many people don't understand this. Okay, so after entering this data into a spaces, okay, you went to the field, collected the questionnaires that you have given out. Okay, of course, people have already filled them in. You're going to get those questionnaires, sit on your computer, on your laptop, and then enter them into your spaces. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. It was already muted. Sorry about that. But I think now you can hear me. So I was saying, after entering the data into a spaces, okay, then you are supposed to code. No. You're supposed to analyze. Okay, how do you analyze? I will show you how you analyze data in SPSS program. Okay, enter the data into SPSS and then you analyze. When you analyze, you are going to get descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Okay, and that is what we call, that is under quantitative data analysis. Then after that, we are also seeing that Pearson product correlation coefficient analysis will be used to test the relationship among the variables, okay, and then regression coefficient models to determine the extent to which independent variables impact dependent variable, and then the results will be presented in tables, analyzed and interpreted, then conclusions and recommendations will be drawn. Okay, so all this is under what? It is under the quantitative data analysis. Okay, you are explaining how you're going to be analyzing quantitative data. Okay, remember the data that you get from questionnaire is quantitative data. So how do you analyze it? How are you going to be analyzing it? So this is the process that you're supposed to go through to analyze quantitative data. That's why we call it quantitative data analysis. Okay, any questions? If you have any questions, please, you can ask. Then after that, we also have what we call qualitative data analysis. Now, what is qualitative? The word qualitative comes from the word quality. Okay, and I remember telling that qualitative data is coming from where? From the interview guide. Okay, meaning that if you use on a questionnaire, then you're going to use on a quantitative data analysis. But if you use both questionnaire and interview guide, it means that you're going to have quantitative data analysis, then you're also going to have qualitative data analysis. Okay, so for quantitative data analysis, you're supposed to, yes, please. Yes, I'm going. You have a question?
Yeah, teacher.
Ask your question.
When you use interview, the data is qualitative data.
Yes.
And the other one is
quantitative.
The other one.
Yeah, questionnaire is quantitative. Okay, so for questionnaire, the data that comes from questionnaire is quantitative data. That's why analyzing that data is called quantitative data analysis. Okay, and whereas the data that comes from the interview guide is called quantitative data, that's why analysis of that data is called quantitative data analysis. Okay, remember we are going to be using two tools, questionnaire and interview guide. Some people are going to be given questionnaires to fill in, to take, and then the other people, they are going to be interviewed face to face. You ask them questions face to face, that is interview. Okay, but if you want, you can say, I'm going to use only questionnaires. It is also fine. Okay, or if you want, you can as well use two. You select a certain section of people, you interview them, then the other section of people, you give them what? Questionnaires. Okay, so you can as well just do it like that. Okay, maybe come back later. So that is what exactly you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so that's why we have what you call qualitative data analysis and quantitative data analysis. Okay, quantitative data analysis, that is analyzing data from the questionnaire, and then qualitative data analysis, that is analyzing data that it comes from interview guide. Now for qualitative, let us read through. Qualitative data would be collected from interview discussions with the top managers of the bank. Of course, that's what we are saying here. And then quantitative data analysis involves processes such as coding in bracket, open comma, accessorial, and selective. Okay, categorizing and making sense of essential meanings of the phenomenon, full stop. This stage of analysis basically involves total immersion for as long as it is needed in order to ensure both a pure and thorough description of the phenomenon. So you may not understand even some of these explanations, but you just need to copy them and put them there. Because I remember telling you that starting from validity here up to the end, you're supposed to use the same ones. Just copy and paste, don't change anything. That's what I told you. Okay, and then starting from chapter introduction up here, you're supposed to be using the other structure: state the item, define the item, explain, and give a justification. Okay, but starting from validity here, okay, up to the end, you're supposed to do what? Up to the end of chapter 3, you're supposed to be using the same words that I'm giving you. Okay, why? Because that is how it's supposed to be done. Okay, because that's what the supervisors want. You are supposed to use the same words that I'm giving you here. And then after that, you're also seeing that content analysis will be used to edit data and reorganize it into meaningful shorter sentences. The data will be analyzed and organized based on patterns, comma, repetitions, and commonalities into themes based on the study variables, full stop. The data will then be used to reinforce information got from the questionnaires to draw conclusion and recommendation. So that is all about qualitative data analysis. Okay, qualitative data analysis. That is what it's done. That is what we are doing at the moment. Okay, so you should not get confused. What is all this about? So this is what we call qualitative data analysis. How you're supposed to analyze data and how you're supposed to be analyzing quantitative data. Okay, and I've already told you that quantitative data, that is data coming from interview guide. Whereas quantitative, that is data coming from where? From questionnaires. These things that I put in brackets are not supposed to be there, okay? But I'm just illustrating them for you, okay? They are not supposed to be there, these ones, okay? What you're supposed to put is only this, okay? Any other question? If you have any question, please ask me. If there is something that you've not understood, please you ask me. If it's not there, then we can proceed. So let us go to 3.11, which is ethical considerations, okay? Now, ethical considerations, here you're supposed to explain the procedure, the ethics of your research, okay? For instance, that is to do with permission, okay? Let me remove this from here, okay? So let us read through and see. We are seeing that to ensure ethical considerations in undertaking the study and the safety, social and psychological well-being of the respondents involved in the study, the researcher will get an introductory letter from the university. Now, what does that mean? The researcher will get an introductory letter from where? From the university. Meaning that before you go to the field, you need to go to the university, your department. I don't know the department that you belong to. Okay, you go to your faculty, okay, and then you ask for permission letter. Some people call it permission letter, other people call it introductory letter. It's the same. Okay, so this permission letter is the one that is supposed to allow you to go to the field to carry out research. Meaning that if you don't have it, then you're not supposed to go to the field to carry out research. Okay, so when you go to your department or your faculty, I don't know whether it's the dean that you're supposed to see or academic register or whatever, then you're supposed to ask, I think it is the research coordinator in your department or your faculty. you go to the research coordinator, and then it's supposed to print for you an introductory letter. Now, that letter is supposed to be coming from the university. It is the university that writes it, okay? And they just give it to you. Of course, it has your name, the logo of your university, and all those things. So it is the university that writes to your case study. For instance, if your case study is Salama Bank Mogadishu, in our case here, then the letter that you are going to get, this permission letter or this introductory letter that you're going to get, is going to be written by the university, your university, whether it is IUIU, whether it is Mount Kenya, where you study from, okay? It's going to be written by university, and it's going to be addressed to your case study, the company that where you're doing your research from, whether it is the Bernard Regional Hospital, whether it is the Sarama Bank, whether it is Premier Bank, whether it is Amar Bank, whichever case study that you're using, okay? So that is what you call a permission letter. So you're supposed to get this letter from your university before you go to the field. Then after that, we were also seeing that, on the other hand, ensure the safety of the person and all community involved in the study. The researcher will get consent of the respondents before they fill in the questionnaires. Now, what does that mean? Now, after getting that introductory letter, then you also need to get consent from these people. You are going to go to the field, okay? You go to the field, okay? Go to Sanama Bank, Bosaso, okay? Bosaso branch. And then when you reach there, you're supposed to look for the management, okay? The manager, the boss, okay? And then they will show you where the boss is, and then you go present your introductory letter, okay? The one that you got from the university. This is the permission letter that you're supposed to show the management of the company, okay? You go and see the management of Sanama Bank, and then show them that letter. Now, they of course, they will give you permission to do research from there. Now, when they give you permission to do research from their bank, it doesn't mean that now you're going to start distributing the questionnaires. No, you're supposed to seek for consent, okay? You're supposed to seek for consent from individual respondents in the case study, okay? So meaning that after getting the question, after the management having given you the permission to do research from there, then you have to go through the people of the employees of the bank and even the bank clients. Ask them individually, one by one, for permission to participate in your search. How? You are going to reach a person, and then you are going to approach a person, and then you ask him, you introduce yourself. My name is so and so, a student of maybe IUIU. I'm doing research on this topic. Please, we have 2 minutes, and you fill in my questionnaire. So you have to ask for permission to each and every person that's going to fill in your questionnaire. Okay? So that is what we call consent. You're supposed to seek for consent from these respondents before they fill in these questionnaires. Okay, so you've gotten the introductory letter from the university, then you go to the field. Okay, so after going to the field, then you're going to give this letter to the management, the manager, the bosses of the company where you're doing research from. If you're doing research from Has Petroleum, maybe Gaba Road, go to that petrol station in Gaba Road, and then look for the management, the managers. Okay, the management. Give them the letter, they show them the letter, then they will give you permission to do research from that petrol station. Okay, and now after giving you permission to do research from that company, then you're supposed to go through each person, each individual, okay, each respondent. You have to ask him or her for permission to participate in your research. How? You have to request them to fill in your questionnaire. You go to the manager, you go to other departments if they are part of your research, and then you ask them for their consent to participate in your research. Okay, and that is what we call consent. So you're supposed to ask for their consent. Consent is like permission. Okay, so you get permission or consent, okay, of the respondents before they fill in the questionnaires. Okay, then after that, you also have to ensure privacy and confidentiality of the information provided by the respondents, which will be used for for academic purposes. Now, what does that mean? It means that when you are giving out these questionnaires to people, of course, these people are going to fill them in. But at the time of giving them out, at the time of giving the questionnaires to people, to the respondents, you're supposed to tell them that the data that you're going to get is going to be used for academic purposes only. Okay, we're not going to sell it, you're not going to publish it anywhere else, but you're just going to do what? You're going to use it for academic purposes, meaning that you're going to ensure privacy and confidentiality of that information. That is what it means. Okay, so you have to do that. You have to tell them, because many people, when you are interviewing them, when you are giving them questionnaires, they can feel like, maybe you're going to show, you're going to expose the things that they know and all those things. So some people don't usually want that. Okay, so that's why you need to tell them that you're going to ensure privacy and confidentiality of the information that you're going to do what? Use. Okay, so basically that's what we are going to do. Then after that, we are going to go to another item, which is limitations. Unless if you have any questions, is there anyone with a question? If there's something that you don't understand, please ask me. Is there anything that you are not understanding? So any questions, guys? If there's something that you are not understanding, please let me know. If it is not there, then we can proceed. So let us proceed. We are going to go to limitations of the study now. This one is the last item in chapter 3. Okay, the last item in chapter 3 is limitations of the study. Now, under limitations of the study, you're supposed to talk about the challenges that you are likely to face. Okay, the challenges that you are likely to meet when you are carrying out this research. Okay, and some of them are these ones. We are also seeing that some respondents might be too busy with their daily schedules, okay, and might fail to spare time filling your questionnaires, okay. So that is the first challenge or the first limitation. Now, what are you going to do about that? We are saying that in such a circumstances, the researcher will give ample time to those respondents, meaning that whenever you find that the respondents are so busy, then you're going to give them ample time. You're going to give them some enough time so that they can do what they can fill in those questionnaires. Okay, so that is the first limitation. Okay, having some respondents who are going to be too busy with their daily schedules. For instance, if you are carrying out research from a bank, most of these bank tellers are so busy, they have long queues of people to work on. Okay, so they might not get time to fill in your questionnaire. Okay, so what are you going to do in that case? You're supposed to give them enough time. You can drop your questionnaires there at the bank and then maybe come back after 1 week, after 2 weeks, and then you find them when they have already filled them in. Okay, but these other people who are not so busy, you can just give them the questionnaires and then just sit down and wait for them to fill them in, and then you go with them. Okay, so that is the first limitation. Some respondents might be too busy with their daily schedules and might fail to spare time filling their questionnaires. Okay, then another one is, as a result of academic work coupled with shortness of time given for completion of such work, the researcher will have to battle with the limited time available to him in combining traveling to the place of case study and attending lectures. Now, what does that mean? Now, remember, you are studying, you're supposed to study in class, you're supposed to attend lectures, okay? At the same time, you're expected to go to the field to carry out research, okay? Assuming that you are carrying out research from Mumbai, I know many of you Somalis, you know Mumbai, okay? Assuming that you are carrying out research from Bari, your case studies maybe has petroleum in Bari town, okay? You're supposed to go to Bari, carry out research or collect the data from the field, and then at the same time, you're expected to attend lectures at the university. So you find that you're going to have a lot of challenges because the time is going to be very short to do all these things at the same time. So that is also going to be another challenge, okay? We are saying that as a result of academic work, coupled with shortness of time given for completion of this research, because they don't usually give you enough time to complete this research. They can give you 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, which is sometimes not enough for you to do this whole research because you have to do corrections, go to the field, cut out, do very many things. Okay, so that's why in most cases this time is usually not enough. And then we also have another one, which is uncooperative respondents. Now, sometimes you can be carrying out research from a certain area, and then these respondents, the people that are supposed to fill in your questionnaires, the people that you're supposed to interview, they are not responding to. Okay, they are not collaborating with you. What do you do? So that is also going to be another challenge. Okay, we're not saying that they are going to be the challenges that you face, but you might face these challenges. Okay, so that is also another one. Then another one is financial challenges. For instance, if you are carrying out research from a place which is the longer distance, which is at a distance which is very far, then you have to incur a lot of money in transport. Okay, so that is going to be financial challenges. Then you can also have another challenge of language barrier. If let's say you are going to give questionnaires to people who are not educated, and the questionnaires are in English, then you are going to have some issues of language barrier. Then you can also have another challenge of bad weather if you don't have a car, and then you also have to move on hot sunshine, or if it is raining and you're in the field there, in the villages there, walking, you don't have any means of transport. So all of those are going to be limitations of the study. So limitations of the study are basically the challenges that you are likely to face when you're carrying out research. Any questions? If you have any question, please ask me. If there's something that you have not understood, ask me. We are remaining with 5 minutes, so please use these 5 minutes to ask me anything that maybe you've not understood. If there is something that you are not understanding, please let me know so that I can explain it more. So are we together? Is anyone who's having a question? If you have any question, please, concerning chapter 3. So that is the end of chapter 3, guys. Chapter 3 is done. We have finished chapter 3. Okay. So on Wednesday, we are going to be studying questionnaire. I'm going to show you how to develop a questionnaire. Okay. Then there are some people who are saying that they need the setup. I'm going to try and send you the setup on. I'm going to try and send you a Spaces program on Telegram and see whether it comes, but I'm not so sure because it's so huge. But then downloading it is also going to be an expense for you. So that's why I was saying, if you have time, please, you can come to my office. Then I install for you the program, and then you go. That is the easiest way of doing it. Okay. Rather than sending you the program and then you have to put in a lot of data to download it because it's huge. It can even go past 800 MBs. You can see it is a big software. Okay, so I would suggest that you people, if you don't have Spaces on your laptops, get a day, come to my office, then I install for you Spaces on your laptop. And then, because on Friday we are going to be starting Spaces, but on Wednesday we are going to develop a questionnaire. Okay, someone is asking me, teacher, when you use qualitative, when you use quantitative. Now, it depends on what you want to use. If you want, you can use both quantitative and qualitative. Okay, if you want, you can use only quantitative. Remember, quantitative is questionnaire. Let me show you the work. Yeah, almost done, guys. Yeah, maybe 5 minutes. So we have two types of data. We have what is it? We have quantitative data analysis, which is quantitative data. Then we also have what we call qualitative data. Now, when do you use quantitative? When do you use qualitative? You use quantitative, okay, when you are when you have very many people to engage in your research. Okay, if let's say you have like 200 people, 300 people, then you're supposed to use quantitative. Okay, and that is questionnaire. If you have like 300 people, 400 people, then you're supposed to use quantitative. Okay, and then for qualitative, you only use it if if let's say you have a small number. Okay, let me just show you something like here on our table. Okay, for instance, the top authorities are how many? There are 3 here. The human resource officials, that is 1. The other bank employees, that is 5. The bank clients that is 142. So these first 2 categories, you can see the numbers are small. So these ones you can use quantitative, that is interview. But where you have like 5, where you have like 142, those are big numbers. So you can use questionnaire, which is quantitative. Okay, so you only use quantitative approach on a big number. When you have a large number of people, then you only use qualitative approach if you have a small number of people. Okay, so that's when you use qualitative and quantitative. But if you want, you can give all of them questionnaires. If you want, you can use only quantitative. Okay, but you cannot use qualitative alone. You cannot use only interview guide. But if you want, you can use only questionnaire, which is quantitative. Okay, and in most cases, by the way, when I'm doing research, I usually use questionnaire only. I don't use interview guide because interview guide disturbs. Okay, so it's better to use only a questionnaire, which is quantitative data analysis, which is quantitative approach. Okay, so and when you use only a questionnaire, that means that you're going to use only quantitative data analysis. You're not going to use qualitative because you don't have interview guide. Okay, so you only use quantitative when the number is so big. Okay, or if you want, you can just use it even when the number is small. But in most cases, people usually use quantitative when the number is very small here, when these numbers are small. Okay, but if you want, you can give everyone questionnaire and then it becomes quantitative only. Any other question? Is there anything else that you wanted to know, guys, concerning our chapter 3? This is the end of chapter 3, guys. On Wednesday, we're going to start a new thing, which is going to be questionnaire. I'm going to show you how you need to develop a questionnaire. A questionnaire and an interview guide, by the way. Okay, those are the research tools that you're supposed to go to the field with. Okay, when you are carrying out research from the field, you go there with the tools. You go there with the data collection tools. Okay, so those are the tools that we're going to be learning the next lesson. Okay, on Wednesday, same time, same place. Otherwise, let us stop here. If you have any questions, please you can ask. If you need a SPSS program, please come to my office on today, Wednesday or Friday, because those are the days when I'm around. Okay, and then in case of anything, you can even text me on WhatsApp. Otherwise, let us stop here. See you on Friday. Bye bye.